What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the December SPAC mergers coming up and the ones that I'm most interested in. December is going to be a very busy month for, official SPAC mergers to go through. So it's going to be fun to watch and see how these react. But before we get into it, if you don't mind dropping a like and hitting subscribe, it really helps out the channel. And check out the links in the description to the free Discord server. We have a ton of members in there, always chatting, so feel free to come join us. It's completely free. And then also check out the Webull referral link, where right now when you sign up, you get 4 free stocks, but I don't know how that long that's going to last, so if you want to jump on that now, I appreciate you guys using my link, and it really helps me out. Now let's get into it. So the first one we're going to talk about pretty much already happened. I believe that they had their vote on 12/1, so in the next couple of days, you'll see RMG change to ticker symbol RMO. Now, they've had a pretty good run-up recently, and I did make a video on them because they are, related to EV, so they got a nice pop. It's going to be cool to see where their stock goes post-merger. Another one that's already happened is GMHI, and this is going to be LAZR as of starting tomorrow. So they have also had a really good run recently, and it'll be interesting to see, how these trade post-merger. The one that recently happened that really surprised me was QuantumScape. They merged ticker changes and they shot up a ton. So that's one, if SPACs are going to do that again instead of selling off post-merger, that's going to be great for all of us SPAC investors. So wow, they changed their name and then just shot up like crazy. It sold off a bit after, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. Next up, we have Desktop Metal, ticker symbol TRNE, and this is going to be going down on 12/8. A little bit about Desktop Metal. They were founded in 2015 by leaders in advanced manufacturing and robotics to address the unmet challenges of speed, cost, and quality to make 3D printing an essential tool for engineers and manufacturers around the world. Seeing their chart move is pretty nice. They have been asleep for a while. It's been a long run, and I've been holding them for a long time. I just have a very small position in a lockup account. I'm excited to see where they go in the future, and I think they could do something big. This is also backed by Chamath, and he loves his SPACs, so it's nice to see him backing a disruptive SPAC like this. And I think this could have an MP Materials type pop eventually. So MP was kind of slept on for a while until post-merger, when they eventually got a nice pop. And I could even see ARK Invest having some interest in this. I don't know if they'll buy it or not. I'm not saying that, but this is right up their alley. So another cool article on Desktop Metal is that they announced shipments of shop systems to several customers, more than half a dozen early adopters. Now this article is a bit old, it's from November 20th, so I don't think this is going to be reflected in the stock price, but I just thought it was a positive thing to point out. So their metal binder jetting shop system is now being manufactured in volume and shipped around the world. I'll link this below if you guys want to read through. It's a pretty quick read, but basically they revealed this shop system about a year ago, and it's designed to enable machine and job shops to harness metal binder jet technology to produce end-use parts for the automotive, oil and gas, and electronics industries, among others. And if you want to know the prices on these, the 4L starts at $166,500. And the 16L is $241,500. Next up, we have ChargePoint, ticker symbol SBE. And as you can see here, it says the closing date of December 15th. So I believe that's when this thing closes and will officially change. This one has been having quite the run up and getting all the attention from everyone. It sold off a bit today, as most EV has taken a bit of a hit after running up like crazy. So it's only natural, that's bound to happen. Doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. I really do like ChargePoint for the long term. I have them in the lockup account as well. And I've kind of built this, disruptive SPAC lockup account. Everything's pretty small positions, small holdings, but I think it's cool to just have some shares locked away and not touch them and get caught up with the trading them back and forth. I really do think ChargePoint is a great company. Very bullish on them for the future. Currently, they're in a no-touch zone for me, though. After running up so much, buying under $20 was perfect for this one. And if you were buying around $13, $14, $15, that's a really good price. But I'm not chasing this one, especially above $30. And I know a lot of people are. It's chasing the hype and stuff. But if you have the long-term outlook, that's fine. I'm really not sure what's going to happen to these SPACs post-merger. We still haven't really gotten too much clarity on that. We'll get into that a little bit later. Here's an article on ChargePoint. Basically, this one came out November 30th, so pretty recent here. Just talking about how it's another way to invest in EV. Instead of picking the correct EV winner when it comes to making the electric vehicles, you can just pick the tools that the companies will be using for those electric vehicles. As always, I'll link this below as well. So as we all know, with SPACs and mergers, a lot of people do like to play the run-up and swing trade the shares or even play options. So if we were to see some selling post-merger and the price did come back down, that's when I would actually like to add shares for the long-term portfolio. I'm not going to be trading this one actively and trying to make, short-term money on this. This is one that I'm pretty bullish on for the future. And their CEO, Scott McNeil, is a firm believer in ChargePoint's potential. By 2030, McNeil expects investments in charging infrastructures to reach $190 billion. They do have 73% of the market share as well, with 4,000 customers, and I'm sure they're going to add to this. ChargePoint expects its revenue to sustain a compound annual growth rate of 60% between 2021 and 2026. You won't see numbers like that with too many companies in any industry. So the takeaway is basically this is another way to invest in EV, and I'll be watching this one closely. Let me know what you guys think about ChargePoint. Next up, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's ticker symbol OPES, and this is Opes or Opes acquisition. This is going to be Burgerfi, and I can't believe it's finally going down. It has been a long time coming. I remember when this first came out, when SPACs really weren't that crazy, and there weren't too many of them. This was around the time FMCI was out, and Shell Hyliion was coming out, so there was just a handful of these SPACs. And now here in December of 2020, there's about 200 SPACs just coming out every day, and it's very hard to keep up with. But this was one of the OGs in my opinion, and it's been a long time coming. They just had a poor management team. Things kept getting delayed, calls kept getting missed. Obviously, COVID happened, and I'm much more bullish on Burgerfi than I am on this acquisition company. I think Burgerfi will do great. I think when the pandemic ends, they will just grow rapidly. They're expanding. They have tons of restaurants or burger joints, whatever you want to call it. And I think people genuinely love their food. So I do see them doing well in the future. So to everyone that held this the entire time, I really hope you get rewarded. I hope it just shoots above that all-time high mark of, what was it, like $18. It's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys get rewarded. So following that, we have ticker symbol FEAC, and this is Skillz, going down on 12/16. A bit about Skillz. They're pioneering the competitive mobile gaming experience, powering tournaments for thousands of game developers around the world, expanding and leading growth in mobile gaming market. It's anticipated that in 2020, Skillz' patented technology will power over 2 billion casual esports tournaments and facilitate 1.6 billion in paid entry fees for games hosted on its secure proprietary platform. It's also mentioned here that this is a high-growth business with projected 2022 revenue of $555 million, which is a 57% compound annual growth rate from 2020. So Feac was asleep for the last few months as well, pretty much trading in like an 11 to 12 range, and recently, along with all the other SPACs, really started pumping up a bit. So in the last month alone, they're up 39.2%. Last week, 17.42%. And today, even today, they had a nice pop of, about 4.5%. So this is another one that we will be watching. I think this will do well post-merger, and I'm excited to see where it's going. Next up's a pretty big one here. This is Ipob, backed by Chamath Palihapitiya. It's one of his mini SPACs, and this is Open Door. So this is going down on December 17th, as you can see here. This article says, why is this important? So when they begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange with the ticker symbol OPEN, this could allow for analysts to give it price upgrades, and this goes for any SPAC as well. Mutual funds and ETFs to stop shying away from it and add to their portfolio like ARK Invest has. They've been adding throughout this entire dip, which is really a bullish sign. ARK Invest loves their disruptive stocks. And this one really popped off, as it says here, high of 27 in October. And then since then, it sold back off under $20 and been trading flat for a while. But recently, like I said, with all the other SPACs, it's been picking up again. The last month, it's up about 30%. Last week, it's down again, and today is up, just about 3%. So with the merger approaching, I do see this going up. I don't see it selling off post-merger. I could always be wrong, but I think the time to be buying this one would be, buying in waves and averaging in now if you're not already invested in this one. I personally only hold warrants. I got my warrants a long, long time ago, and I've just been holding them. I might swing some and I might keep some for the long term if I do decide to convert them and hold the stock. So I do think it's great that ARK Invest has been buying. I'm excited to see where this goes. So pretty much IPOB or Open Door, they compete directly with Zillow and Redfin. And just looking at where Redfin and Zillow are sitting at, it does give me a nice outlook on this, especially because I know for a fact that ARK Invest sold Zillow and bought IPOB, I believe in the same day, in the same trading day. So they obviously have a huge outlook on IPOB. To see them grow into maybe a potential Zillow. So in the last year, you can see Zillow's up an insane amount, and they essentially do the same thing. And in my opinion, it looks like ARK Invest is more bullish on Open Door, or at least they see more growth potential with Open Door. So I'm not saying they're going to get to Zillow's, exact price anytime soon, but maybe over the next couple of years, they are real competitors right next to Zillow and Redfin. All right, last up, we have LCA Golden Nugget, the long-awaited merger, and this is going down on 12/18. So this is pretty big for the stock. It moved up quite a bit after hours, and many of us have been waiting for a very long time for this. I mean, I know I was speculating end of September, and then when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, definitely in October. That didn't happen. I really thought November. It just kept going, and we really didn't get anything from Tillman Fertitta, anything from the company, no news, no PR, nothing. So it left a lot of us hanging, and we just knew it had to happen before the end of the year, and it finally is going down on 12/18. You can see after hours, they're up about 13.71%. So this one was another one that kind of died off for a while. Obviously, they had their spikes. We all know about their spikes. And then around election time, things really went sideways. Just traded flat for a long time. But now they're back to that $20, almost to all-time highs. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. But yeah, this is another exciting one. I do hold shares for this in the lockup account as well. I can see them being competitors with DraftKings and the other gambling type stocks. I do like that they are cash flow positive, and I see a lot of growth for them even post-COVID. So I'll be holding this through the merger. I'm not going to swing trade this one. There's always a chance you can play warrants if you wanted to play call options. Just depends how bullish you are on this and where the merger goes. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I am still waiting to see how stocks react post-merger, just because a couple months ago, pre-election, and this could be the reason why, we had quite a few sell-offs post-merger. And the ones that come to my memory are FMCI, which turned into Tattooed Chef and sold off. We had Lordstown Motors, Velodyne, and Hyliion. These all sold off post-merger. But, all the SPACs were dying at that time just due to the overall market sentiment was poor, upcoming election. So I think people were rotating out of SPACs into safer stocks. So I'm really curious to see how all of these react. And I know we just had MP Materials change the ticker and shoot up very nicely. QuantumScape just did that. So I will be observing the next few that go through, which could help us, understand once again how these are going, and we could, bank off that. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's what I'm looking for. I don't really know price targets. I don't want to give any price targets and give false hope, because anything can happen in this crazy market. So let me know what you think about all these in the comments below. Let me know what you're holding and your favorite SPAC right now. And have a good one.
Getting money, I just went up in my style. Up in traffic, never lacking in a draw. I will never put my